Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously. So, what do we do? Three, two, one, my juice, little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Yeah, they go brighter, then they start to go a bit darker, my delicious little babies. I may need to put some more batteries in, my delicious little babies. We need to remember the batteries. Now then, my delicious little babies, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So it's 1:30 in our old afternoon in our old England, my delicious little babies. Right, the sun has got his hat on, hip 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 hooray. It is a bit windy. The sun's just came out, and it's a little bit not so very nice with the not so very nice white and grey clouds, more grey, my delicious little babies kind. And that's the weather forecast, but it's all right. It's all right. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure if you sat in the sun, it'd be okay. But in the shade, it's rather chilly. So that's the weather forecast, my delicious little babies. And I hope that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are in the world. And that the weather, wherever you are, is super duper wonderful, beautiful, and delicious, just like your dear selves. Okay, my delicious little babies now then. So I've got three today, my delicious little babies, okay? They're all different, if you know what I mean. I'll save the one for last because I thought, well, you know what? Sometimes I'm always being so serious, my delicious little babies, and sometimes I need to take a flip. It's only a joke. It's only a figure of speech, my delicious little babies. But sometimes I need to take a chill pill, you know what I mean? Because I just feel I get so wound up. There we are sometimes, my delicious little babies, you know, with what's going on in the world. And to be honest, it just drives me effing crackers. There we are. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay, sometimes, like I said, I need to take a chill pill. I don't mean literally my delicious little babies because my body does not accept tablets. Okay. Now then, so we got the first one, my delicious little babies. Now this one here, this is over 12 minutes long. So it's not long, my delicious little babies, not long. So this uploader, they're all on YouTube, my delicious little babies. This uploader happens to have 8.87 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. And it's called, for anybody who would happen to have any form of an interest, capital A in the older space bar, my delicious little babies, African space, capital L, legacy. Okay, my delicious little babies, so it should read, once tapped into the old space bar, my delicious little babies, African space legacy. Okay, my delicious little babies now then. And what this is about a dictator called Amin. Okay. Now, he, let's just say, you know, never treated his country in Uganda very well, my delicious little babies, okay? And it did appear that he totally, there we are, really wanted the power. Okay, I mean, he was a very strong man with it as well. He was extremely tough. Okay, my delicious little babies. But the long and short of all of this is that for the crimes that were committed, only from what I looked at the video, my delicious little babies, for the terrible and appalling crimes that were committed, my delicious little babies, well, he was allowed to get a plane, you know, with his family and, you know, and so forth, okay? And then he got given, you know, like where you get given if you go to another country. Who did that now? What's his name? Edward Snowden, he did it as well. You know, like where you can go to, because he went to Russia, I do believe. Okay, if my mind Noddle serves me correctly, sorry, that wasn't the correct English. You know, and you know, where I forgot what the flipping word's called now, my delicious little babies. But the point of the matter is that basically he had safety there in Russia, Edward Snowden. Well, this was the same thing now. I mean, not the same thing, what they these two different men have done. No, nothing like that at all. What I mean is that they got offered by another country to help them care mardlichlik babies. So where did he go to? He went to the Middle East. Care mardlichlik babies, and the only thing that they asked him, for all of the terrible crimes that was committed all those decades ago, mardlichlik babies, he ended up living in luxury. There we are, for the rest of his life. The only one thing that the Arabs said not to do was ever to get involved in politics again. So he then lived out the rest of his life. Well, I don't know about you, mardlichlik babies, but you know, if you imagine, you know, say the families of their dear loved ones, you know, who had passed at the hands of this dictatorship, I'm really not too sure that they would feel best pleased, mardlichlik babies, that your man there then went to live in a luxury, mardlichlik babies, in another country. You know, who was very happy to take him in, as long as he never touched politics again. Just repeat that again. I just, you know, changed one word slightly. The point of the matter is this. The rest of his life was in luxury. And if you could have heard, which I'm sure that for anybody in the geopolitical, you would already know this, but there may be, you know, some of our delicious little babies out there who maybe are not too familiar with this man. There was at one point as well where Amin was he receiving some help from Mr. Gaddafi? My delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? Okay. So, you know, I just thought I'd mention this, my delicious little babies, you know. And the thing is, there are a lot of other was it this video I've seen it on, or was it another one in the comments where what's his name? That other one who was worse, somebody had put Pol Pot or something. Okay. You see, what happens is, right, from what I gather, a lot of these, for a lot of these, you know, there isn't very many, I do not feel, who are a lot older. I feel that, for most of them, they were young. There we are, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? And then, of course, you know, it's like the more and more power that they get, it appears with some dictators, the more there we are putrid they became, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? For myself, there is absolutely no reason whatsoever to treat any of your population in that manner, my delicious little babies. But it seems that for some of these dictators, and some of them have been dealt with, haven't they, over the decades, my delicious little babies? And of course, you've got others on the other side of the coin where they get to live in luxury in the Middle East, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? I was listening to another video before I came on my video today, my delicious little babies, and where they were saying that the reason why one's like to live in Dubai is because fair enough, they did say that basically, well, you have to follow the rules, okay, but then you can live safely. Well, for myself, and I repeat it again, I'm not a racist, prejudice. Anyway, I'm not even going to go down that road. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not. The fact of the matter is, I wouldn't want to live surrounded by skyscrapers. No, I would not. I do not see that as being a very good quality of life, my delicious little babies. That's just my view. I just prefer lots of trees, lots of grass, flowers, bushes. I just love all that sort of thing, you know what I mean? Not somewhere like that. No, it's not my cup of tea, no. Okay? Mind you, I spoke to others and they have said that Dubai is very nice, if you go on a holiday or something, It's just never been a place that I've ever wanted to go to, my delicious little babies. It's just not my cup of tea, you know what I mean? But yeah, well worth a little listen to this video, my delicious little babies, okay? But that's how it becomes. And then what happens with a lot of dictators, past and present, because that's what's happening, isn't it, my delicious little babies, it appears. They start to become what you call, a figure of speech. They start to become cocky, uh, super duper, very are sure of themselves. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay, very arrogant, you know. So I'm pretty sure that we could all spare a thought of in all of our countries, my delicious little babies. We can maybe spare a thought to some names. There we are, couldn't we, my delicious little babies? Do you know what I mean? Yes. Anyway, so the next one, my delicious little babies. Now I'm about a quarter of the way through this, and it's just over 23 minutes, my delicious little babies. Okay, and yeah. So what it was, I was looking at another video, and then I was scrolling down, and then I clicked on another video, okay, and then I scrolled down, and then I found this one, my delicious babies. Now, for some of you, my delicious babies, you will know who your man here is, but for myself, I do not. Okay, my delicious babies. Right, so the uploader, and you see, for a lot of these that I advertise, my delicious little babies, because I have my dear uploaders, with anybody not in that way, who I advertise on a regular basis, but then you'll have others like this where it's one-offs. Okay, these are one-offs, my delicious little babies, okay? Because that's how I rock and roll, okay? Now then, these are all capitals here, my delicious little babies. This is your uploader. In your space bar in YouTube, once again, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest, it's my little magpies, bless, okay? Capital B, capital E, B, and then space, all in capitals, amazed. So it should read, once tapped into the old space bar on YouTube, B space amazed. Okay, my delicious little babies. This uploader, this is a large one, isn't it? Because I don't think I've advertised these before. You do not see large with all the subscribers like this anymore, my delicious little babies, okay? 13.3 million. I never looked at it at first because I was too busy looking at the video. Then I thought, I've got to write it all down. So when I looked, I thought, flipping 13.3 million. Honestly, you never get uploaders even coming anywhere near to that. I can only spare a thought of about 4 or 5. Of course, the largest one, isn't it? Is it Mr. Beast? I mentioned him years ago, my delicious little babies, on a couple of my videos. Not in that way, Mr. Beast, yeah. He has millions and millions, doesn't he? Anywhere he goes, my delicious little babies. Anyway, so this video should read from 42 billion to $0. How a nil, is it a nil? I've got to look at my own flipping writing here, Martin. Baby, sorry about that. I was writing it quick, super duper quick. How a nil, Ambani, I think it is, or Ambani. No, that doesn't sound right, does it? Albani. Lost all his money, my delicious babies can. So I'll just repeat that again for you. From 42 billion to $0, how Anil and Barney lost all his money. Some of the comments are interesting, my delicious babies. Like I say, I only ever look at a few, do you know what I mean? I never look at a lot of comments, Well, simply because I just do not have the time to, okay, my delicious babies, but I do like to look at some. And one's in the comments, are saying that, well, he's still living in luxury, luxury that we would never know. Do you know what I mean? Okay. But some of the comments, I do find them most amusing. Do you know what I mean? Mad holistic babies. But that's what happens, isn't it? You can have everything, and then then there we are. Then you can lose everything. You know what I mean? It's how you're all a dash. You know what I mean? Mad holistic babies. Anyway. Now, finally, but yeah, well worth it. I'm going to watch till the end, when I finish my video to you all, my delicious little babies. See, you do see me smile occasionally, my delicious little babies. I do smile. I smile every day, actually. I find something to have a real big laugh about. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? Even if it's only for a few minutes, I'll always find something to laugh about. But it's just that you do not see it on my videos so much these days. Actually, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself, really, because I should laugh more, you know what I mean, on my videos, my delicious little babies. But you know what it is? It's because there's so much there we are seriousness going on in the world, my delicious little babies. Do you understand what I mean? And I've got to be honest, I find it damn rank and disgusting what's going on in the world, you know? Anyway, but this final one, my delicious little babies, kind. And then I'll say another couple of things, and then I'm going to be over and out, okay? This uploader happens to have 22.7 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. It never came up on my feed. It's when I was looking, there we are, at other videos, okay? And I came across this little cracker, okay, my delicious little baby, right? And it's called, it's all lowercase. So it's 3 separate words because the space is in between. So in your space bar, my delicious little babies, okay? Like I said, all lowercase, no capitals. Pink, space, sugar. Oh, sugar, honey, honey, right? And then space, mukbang. I'll just spell that for you, my delicious little babies. M for mother, U for umbrella, K for kitten, B for Bertie, A for apple, M for November, G for Gertrude. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? Mukbang. So pink, space, sugar, space, mukbang. That's how it should read once it's typed in, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest. And the way that this little video has been put together, it's just over 8 minutes long, my delicious little babies, okay? And this is what it reads, okay? The title: Indian street food that should be banned. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? You really need to look at this, my delicious little babies. That doesn't mean I just got an itch, right? Because, I mean, honestly, no joke, swear down. And what it is, they're putting like little bits of, what do they call it? Little bits of writing, okay? Oh gosh, you got the music and like this, and then you got somebody towards the end, they're asking something because what is that place in mint water, like this, and anyway, he's wondering what is being sold. Do you know what I mean? Martin Licious Meister. And another one was ass, like the ass that you could, freeze. So anybody knows in India, you know what I mean? If you drink the water, you're going to be very poorly. Do you know what I mean? My delicious babies, yeah. I mean, it is sad about the water, the sewage problem. I mentioned this a long time back, well over is it a couple of years, 2.5 years ago now? Yeah. But this is something else. No joke. And then when you see it at the start, right, you're going to see it at the start, my delicious baby. What is he making? It's all like it writing. What is he cooking? Do you know what I mean? And he's sat there, like he's really doing something really, really important. He's got a sauce, a frying pan. Sorry, that this frying pan, well, it looks a bit out of shape, so we're not sure what's happened to the frying pan. Okay? And you're wondering what he's doing, and then you can hear like on the video. And everything, and he's just dunking things, and then he just gets a newspaper, Martin, babies, like a part of a newspaper, just slaps the. You got the omelette, you got whatever else, I don't know what it was, and then you just slap the flipping, this whatever he cooked, with the newspaper on top, Martin, it's flipping hilarious, okay? But when you see someone, I mean, there's another woman, I mean, she's making these, what do they call it? Is it crepes? Like you can buy them like in chocolate. You know what I mean? They're called crepes. Babies can you can make them. It's like a pancake, is it? Sort of like that, but this one's more, structured. Anyway, and she's there with this great big pot, and she's. Do you know what I mean, Babies? Right? She's got, and it was, sitting rather. She's got her toes on the pot, Martin babies. You need to see this, okay, Martin babies. There's another one who's making cakes, Okay, it's just they're putting around. Let's decorate. Okay, you should see it's got. Okay, man, you've got to see this, right? I mean, you wouldn't want to. I'm not just being nasty, Martelish to babes. I'm not saying it because of the, do you know what I mean? Because of the internet. No, I'm not, right? But you've got to see this little video, right? It is funny. Okay, Martelish to babies, it's flipping hilarious, actually. And I was looking at it because at first, you know, like sometimes you look at something first and then you say to yourself, is this for real? You know, are they for real? And it's there we are, and this is really real, Martelish little babies. It's not fake, from what I can see. This is not fake at all. But it seems that you've got a lot of kooks in India, Martelish little babies. But I feel that maybe for some of them, bless for some of them, I feel that maybe there we are. They need a bit more of a cookery lessons, Martelish little babies. Do you know what I mean? But let me tell you. I've never quite seen anything like that at all, my delicious little babies, ever. Anyway, but well worth a watch of that, my delicious little babies, well worth a watch. Yeah, so now I'm going to close my book. That's all the, oh, sorry, excuse me, information for today, my delicious little babies. So, yeah, it did make me laugh. I watched it first time round and I was rather flipping taken back because, like I said, I thought, is this for real? Are you for real? Do you know what I mean? And then when I realised it was real, I flipping rewound it back again and watched it again. I was flipping howling. I mean, there's part of it, you know, the first time round I was laughing at because I just thought whoever it is, totally a jerker, mad delicious little babies, you know what I mean? But this is absolutely real, okay? Well, wouldn't see myself. I'd rather, let's just say, I'd rather not eat for a number of hours than even attempt to try any one of those meals, my delicious little babies. No, 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 no. Not very appetising for myself, no, no. And it's even worse to watch them. It's even worse to watch them cook it. My delicious babies to cook it, do you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, very lastly, so I was listening to a video yesterday evening because of to do with Charlie Kirk in America who's passed away. They say, okay, my delicious little babies, okay. So that's not myself being nasty at all. It's just even now, I'm just not getting anything. Again, I'm not getting anything. So whether this is right, whether this is wrong, but I'm just not getting anything, my delicious little babies. Anyway, and I heard somebody say on a video, because I was listening to different videos, and I heard somebody say on a video, my delicious little babies, well, digital RD will not be, that would not be such a bad idea. And I listened to it, and I thought, are you for effing real, man? Do you know what I mean? I never needed to rewind it again. I heard it very well the first time, my delicious little babies. I thought it's for this exact reason. Do you follow me, my delicious little babies? Now, who I was listening to, I've got to be honest, I was rather taken aback because I really never expected who it was to say that, my delicious little babies, especially with what we've got going on in our old England. There we are, my delicious little babies, and all over the world, okay, while they're trying to bring in this digital RD and everything, okay. They tried with the old, to get, lockdown bloody passports, my delicious little babies, which of course everybody said no to that. You see, so therefore they couldn't put it through. Do you see what I mean? Okay. I was really rather shocked when I heard, and I'm not going to say who it is because, because I always know that there's somebody, listening somewhere, my delicious little babies, and somebody seeing somewhere, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure that ones will, I don't know, maybe they'll be able to listen to themselves. Do you understand? It's just I couldn't believe. And I just thought, no. I thought this is not very a good idea. Okay, my delicious little babies, kind. It's not. Put it this way: if you have a digital ID, there we are. We've got a lot of problems, my delicious little babies. Okay, I mean, fair enough. I mean, even with YouTube, you have to have an account. Yes, of course. Okay, but we're not just talking about. I mean, we're talking about something that we are far more serious, my delicious, there we are, little babies. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. So I was really shocked at who I heard say that, my delicious little babies. Yeah, and I am slightly stumbling because there we are, because I was rather shocked at that. No, no. Uh, this seems to be going in there we are, a different direction. If who I heard is talking like that, my delicious little babies, okay? And there's quite possibly, there we are, because of what's happened with Charlie Kirk, you know what I mean? Others who'll be saying the same, not realising that they will be, there we are, completely enslaved. There we are, my delicious little babies, okay? To we know who, and the little lackeys. Do you see what I mean? My delicious little babies, yes, okay? So yeah, so I wasn't very happy with that part, what I heard, my delicious little babies, but this is what I'm talking about. When you get something like this now then, okay, my delicious little babies, which happens, you know, because you at the moment you've got, it appears, ones who are on social media. I heard this a couple of days ago anyway, my delicious little babies, where they're actually highly delighted with the passing of Charlie Kirk. Okay, my delicious little babies, and they're making their feelings very known in the world, my delicious little babies, for some. Okay, well, I would never have done that. What I do is I question things. There we are. I just question things. Do you see what I mean? My delicious little babies, and ones, there we are, really need to question things. Do you see what I mean? Okay. And of course, then we've heard that, you know, lots of other things came out. You know, I heard this a couple of days ago where, you know, where Charlie Kirk had, you know, said, or, you know, he said to somebody, and I think it was in a tweet as well, that, you know, if he um, goes against, you know, certain Mardalishlik babies, you know, Israel, that you know, that, well, basically, they would be most upset with him. Okay, Mardalishlik babies. Well, it just seems to myself that all of this has happened, there we are, in such a super duper short space of time. So I'm not saying, you know, in my view, and anyway, I shouldn't have to say it, but I will say it. I'm not saying anything to be nasty. There we are. I'm just questioning everything. I'm looking at all different views here, all different angles. Okay. But we also have to look at as well. And then I was listening to another channel, and what is it that, you know, that they do not seem to be very happy, my delicious babies, that trouble Trump in the old USA, America, you know, that, you know, for him to have, you know, some they were executed, my delicious babies. So, you know, you've got a lot of, let's just say, a lot of different views on different things going on at the moment, my delicious babies. There we are, a lot of different things. Okay. So really, it's like I said before, and I repeat again, there we are. We have to keep, there we are, our eyes fully rewind and start again. See, stumbling again and not changing my video. We have to keep our eyes and ears open, okay, my delicious babies, okay, to what is going on, because right now a lot of the focus seems to be on Charlie Kirk in America, my delicious babies, okay. But there's other things, there we are, that the putrid governments in the world are doing, my delicious babies, you know, ours and around the world, my delicious babies, okay. That let's just say they're doing other things now, so that others, there we are, distracted with other things. There we are. Okay, my delicious babies, okay. So this is giving them chance, there we are, to get other things done, you know, but failing to tell any of us in our countries, my delicious babies. Do you see what I mean? That's the point I'm making. There we are. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies, okay? I still haven't managed to see the video close up, because, like I said, because I do not go on Twitter. Do you see what I mean? You know, but there are a lot of uploaders who are saying that, you know, it's really not very nice to see. Well, of course, you know, at the end of the day, it would be sad for anybody, but, you know, we must also remember here, I get the point, what commentators are saying, uploaders are saying, I do get it, ding, ding, dong, dong. I see what they're saying. You should be able to have a freedom of speech and, without feeling, that you're going to get shot. Okay, martylish babies or attacked. But the point is, how many other millions are without mummies and daddies? But it doesn't seem to get that coverage, martylish babies. So if anybody feels that I'm being a bitch for saying that, well, then fair enough. Then ones can call me a bitch. I couldn't give a fiddler's F, quite frankly. I'm just sparing a thought for millions out there we are, who do not have a say or have a voice. And their mummies and daddies, for, one sad reason or another sad reason, are no longer with them either. And they could very well themselves have lost their dear mummies and daddies at a very young age. Do you follow what I'm saying, martylish little babies? But this is what happens in the alternative media, martylish little babies. Well, I do believe it's happening on some of the mainstream, but who really listens to the mainstream anymore? Martylish little babies can. But this is what happens, and everybody runs with what's going on. But then other things are being overlooked. Do you see what I mean? That's all I'm saying, martylish little babies. And I do not feel one iota that I'm wrong for doing that, and I never needed to stumble. I'm not wrong for saying this. Not at all. You know what I mean? What about soldiers over the decades where the wives have been pregnant expecting little babies, and the dear little baby's daddy has not come back home, martylish little babies? But do they all get the same coverage? Because I'm just not getting it, martylish little babies. Do you understand what I mean? I'm not getting it at all across my shoulders, do you say? So I do not feel like I'm wrong in saying what I'm saying. But of course, if ones carry on with this, okay, not being nasty, if they carry on with it, right, we're going to miss other vital things that we should be concentrating on. There we are. Okay, martylish little babies, okay? Now then, and one more thing, when they say about this so-called, what is he, who looks like a sniper or whatever else it is. Okay, martylish is, oh, I don't know. Snipers look a lot different these days, don't they, martylish little babies? They're dressed on, I mean, if you look at snipers from decades ago, even on the films, martylicious little babies, proper snipers, like that Death Wish film, like that martylicious little babies, you know what I mean? What was his name? I forgot his name now. Is it Charles Bronson? And anyway, but they used to be sophisticated, and like they even used to wear like shirts and and things like this, didn't they? But these days it's jeans and a t-shirt, and yeah, jeans and a t-shirt, and one seemed to be focusing for some, not for all, but they're focusing on this whoever was, up on the roof. I'm not going to sing it, Martylish Lick Babies, because ones will just think I'm taking the pee. Want everybody to focus on the t-shirt, the part, the logo part on the t-shirt, Martylish Lick Babies, or well, if Charlie Kirk's been, severely injured like that, okay, then I really cannot see what, that part of the t-shirt, a logo, is really going to do. Do you know what I mean? How many of those t-shirts, there we are, would have been made? That's the point. My delicious little babies. I don't know. For myself, I'm trying not to get myself absorbed into it, martylish little babies, okay? Because I just feel let others who are very, in the political realm, just let them get on with it, martylish little babies. Because to myself, there were a lot of distraction. I didn't believe the bullshit where this so-called rifle was is it in the woods or in the forest, martylish little babies in the woods or in the forest. It just sounds there's just too many things at the moment. There we are, martylish little babies. Too many things that are just not sounding correct to myself, my delicious babies, and that's where I'm going to end it. I'm not going to mention anything again about Charlie Kirk, my delicious babies, but there are a lot who, clearly, they're not very happy to hear the news, my delicious babies. Anyway, so that's the end of my video. So it's just going to be lights out. So yeah, so I'm not being nasty, my delicious little babies. You know what I mean? Oh, I got bought some what is it, Lindalter chocolate. It's very rare I ever have a chocolate, my delicious little babies. It was as a birthday gift, my delicious little babies. And I was bought this beautiful plant as well, my delicious little babies. So beautiful, like one of those ka-ching trees, money trees. It's like that. It looks similar to that, my delicious little babies. Oh, it's ever so beautiful. And I was bought a beautiful little, lovely, cuddly, warm little jacket from one of my beautiful, and delicious, dear little beautiful friends. Okay, so yeah, and of course my other beautiful, delicious little friend, bought me my beautiful little machine. You see what I mean? So yeah, so that's that. So yeah, it's all beautiful. You know what I mean? And then I had flowers and other things. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just so beautiful. Do you know what I mean? I mean, even bless, and I'm so very thankful and grateful. And I'm very blessed to have my beautiful dear little friends that I do. Do you understand what I mean? But and my beautiful dear little neighbours, and upstairs and everything, my delicious little babies, okay? But and across the way, but at the end of the day, even if somebody, because I had a lot of birthday wishes and calls and messages, and so it was just all very beautiful, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna eat my chocolate, my delicious babies, please and thank you. If you were here, I would have gave you one. Hmm. Tennis. Hmm. Yeah. Tennis, there are ping pong ball. Okay, my delicious little babies. And Pepsi. I just got Pepsi as well. Okay, my delicious little babies. So until my next video, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. Please take care of yourselves now then. And please try to take care of others, okay? How I love you all so. Thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, and for the occasional comments, okay? So until my next video, thank you once again for listening. Kisses and hugs. Thank you. Goodbye.